Hey everyone, welcome back to Applied Wisdom, Literature for Living Better.
Yeah.
I think, we always love to dig into these big ideas, the kind of things that help us make sense of the world.
Absolutely.
And today's no different. We're going to be talking about a book called Nexus by Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, it's a brief history of information networks from the Stone Age to AI.
That's a mouthful, right?
It is quite a mouthful, but it's really all about how we share information, how we process it, how that's kind of shaped the whole story of humanity.
Yeah, I think, for people who are already on a path of self-improvement, trying to understand themselves and the world better,
Right.
I think this book really offers a powerful lens.
Yeah. If you think about it, right, from whispers around a campfire to the internet to AI, it's all about connections, right?
Yeah, it really highlights this idea that information is at the heart of everything.
Totally.
We tend to focus on, tools and technology and resources, but Harari's argument is that it's the networks, the ability to communicate and organize knowledge that truly drive progress.
Yeah.
And this really clicks with, your interest in complex systems.
Totally. How things evolve over time.
Exactly. It's about understanding that it's not just about the individual pieces,
Right.
but how they connect and interact with each other.
So let's go way back to the beginning.
Okay.
The cognitive revolution.
Yeah.
Harari makes this point that when we developed language, it wasn't just hey, let's go hunt that mammoth or whatever.
Right.
It was something much deeper, right?
It's this idea that language enabled us to gossip, to tell stories, to create shared beliefs and myths.
Yeah.
And that's what really set us apart from other species.
Totally. It allowed us to have these tribal identities, laws, even the concept of money.
It's incredible when you think about it. These things only exist in our collective imagination. Right. But because we can share these ideas through language, we can cooperate on a massive scale.
These shared myths are the first software.
I love that analogy.
Right.
The software running on the hardware of our brains.
And language is what connects it all together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Language is the network that makes it all possible.
So then we move on, right? We've got the agricultural revolution. People are settling down. They're farming. There are more people living together. There's surplus resources.
Right.
But suddenly you need ways to keep track of all this stuff.
Yeah, you need systems to manage information.
Who owns how much food is stored? What are the rules?
Exactly. It's a whole new level of complexity. And this is where writing comes in.
Writing.
It's a game changer. It's a technology that allowed us to overcome the limitations of our memory.
Okay.
Initially it was probably for practical things like accounting.
Just keeping track of things.
But then it evolved to record laws, history, sacred texts.
Way.
And this is what enabled the development of large-scale bureaucracies, empires, organized religions.
It's like information processing systems on a whole other level.
Right. These are all sophisticated systems for managing and distributing information across large groups of people.
And we can't forget about money.
Oh, yeah. Money, another brilliant invention.
Right.
It's essentially a highly efficient information system for exchanging value based on trust.
So now we fast forward a bit, we get to the printing press.
Yeah, the print revolution.
This is where things really start to shift in terms of access to information.
It's a democratization of knowledge.
The printing press makes books and texts much cheaper and faster to produce.
Right. Suddenly, information is no longer controlled by a select few.
Exactly. It's available to a much wider audience.
And this had huge implications for society.
How?
Well, think about the Reformation. New religious ideas could spread rapidly, challenging the established order.
Makes sense.
The scientific revolution scientists could share their findings much more efficiently, accelerating the pace of discovery. And the Enlightenment, the rise of nationalism, these movements relied heavily on printed materials to spread their ideas and create shared identities.
It's like a shift from top-down information control to a more horizontal flow.
Exactly. Knowledge is no longer just coming from the authorities. It's being shared and debated among people.
So this idea of horizontal flow really explodes with the electronic and digital ages.
Well, absolutely. The telegraph, the telephone, radio, television, they created near instantaneous global communication networks.
It's mind-blowing how quickly things changed.
It completely reshaped how we interact, how we trade, how we even wage war.
And then, of course, we have computers, the internet, mobile devices.
The pace of change just accelerates exponentially.
It's crazy to think about how much has happened in such a short period of time.
We have globalized markets, rapid political mobilization, new forms of mass culture.
But Harari also points out that there's a dark side to this.
There are always trade-offs.
All this information can also be used for surveillance, for spreading misinformation.
That's right. The technology itself is neutral.
Right.
It's how we use it that matters.
So it's not like the internet is inherently bad.
No, not at all. But it does create new challenges.
What?
Well, we have echo chambers, where people are only exposed to information that confirms their existing beliefs.
That's easy to get stuck in those filter bubbles.
And with so much information out there, it can be hard to know what to trust.
Especially with all the algorithms that filter what we see.
Right, we're not always in control of the information we consume.
So this leads us to what Harari calls the age of AI.
This is where things get really interesting.
This is where we start to see a non-human network emerge.
And that raises all sorts of questions about what it means to be human.
AI can now generate text images, even computer code, that's almost indistinguishable from human-created content.
It's a potential paradigm shift.
So what happens to our understanding of creativity when machines can create art?
Right. What happens to our concept of truth when AI can generate convincing fake news?
And what about power dynamics? Who controls these powerful AI systems?
These are all questions we need to be thinking about.
So if we zoom out and look at the big picture, what are some of the key takeaways from Harari's book for someone who's on a path of self-improvement?
Well, I think the first takeaway is recognizing that information has always been at the heart of human progress.
Okay.
Every major advancement in our societies has been linked to innovations in how we process and share information.
That makes sense.
The second takeaway is that technology is not inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's how we use it that determines its impact.
So we have a responsibility to use technology wisely.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the potential consequences of our actions.
And Harari also makes this point that our understanding of reality is largely constructed through shared stories and information networks that carry them.
That's a profound insight.
So it's important to be aware of how these networks are shaping our views.
We need to be critical thinkers and question the information we're presented with.
And finally, the rise of AI is not just about a new tool.
Right.
It's about a potential new agent within our information networks.
We need to be prepared for a future where non-human intelligence plays a significant role in shaping our world.
So for everyone listening out there thinking about their own personal growth, how can we apply these insights from Harari's book?
Well, I think it starts with being more mindful of how we engage with information.
Okay.
We're bombarded with information all the time.
It's overwhelming sometimes.
It can be. So we need to be more selective about what we consume.
So instead of just passively scrolling through social media,
Right.
we should be actively seeking out diverse viewpoints.
And questioning the information we're presented with, even if it aligns with our existing beliefs.
It's about developing our information literacy.
That's right. Being able to critically evaluate sources and understand how these networks might be influencing our perspectives.
And that's a skill that's more important than ever in this age of algorithmic curation and AI-generated content.
Absolutely. We need to be able to discern truth from falsehood and avoid being manipulated.
So a good starting point might be to consciously seek out a news source or perspective that challenges your current views.
That's a great idea, just to get outside of your comfort zone and exercise those critical thinking muscles.
So as you continue to explore new ideas and strive for personal growth, remember to keep this evolution of information networks in mind.
It's a powerful framework for understanding the world we live in.
And it can help you make more informed decisions about how you engage with information and how you shape your own future.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, but only if you know how to use it wisely.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Yuval Noah Harari's Nexus.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful.
Hopefully it's given you some food for thought.
And if you did find it helpful, please like and subscribe.
It really helps the channel.
Stay tuned for the next one where we'll be exploring another thought-provoking book.
We're looking forward to it.
Thanks again for listening.
See you next time.
Bye.